Part 3. What do the middle class do?
So what do the middle classes do? Mostly they are responsible for 5 large areas of society. First and foremost, they design, build and run the capitalist system itself. These individuals, managers, accountants, consultants, human resource specialists and so on, make up the managerial section of the middle class. Secondly, they provide business with a range of technical skills, from R&D to architecture, to systems development, to product design, to building the organizations that the previous fraction of the middle class operate. A third component of the middle class consists of the professions, doctors, teachers, lawyers, priests, social workers, and so on. This group, which also includes hosts of ancillary workers of more marginal class identity, mostly work in society's superstructures. That is, they are employed by social institutions such as schools, hospitals, government, and so on, that, in most industrial countries, are not businesses. Their role is primarily to create and maintain the workforce and keep it in a fit state to work. The fourth group, broadly speaking the civil service but at all levels, is responsible for managing the huge political infrastructure of government, local, national, and international, that capitalism needs if it is to work at all. They too are largely focused on society's superstructures, but perform different roles to the professions. The final group of middle-class workers is employed directly by the ruling class and others who aspire to privilege, and its purpose is to satisfy their needs. They offer professional, managerial and technical expertise through private schools, private healthcare, private banking and so on. Even opera singers and other practitioners of the more expensive arts can be thought of as specialists in serving the class of owners of capital and of property generally. For reasons that will soon be made clear, it's worth asking where all these middle-class jobs came from. Some existed long before the rise of industry, or indeed capitalism, or indeed class societies. Doctors, teachers, priests, lawyers, and other professionals have probably existed in some form or another since before the rise of civilization itself, coming into existence in the very process whereby human economies became productive enough to support specialists. Other middle-class roles are much newer. Although science as we currently understand the word is several centuries old, it only began to play a significant role in industry, that is, being used on a large scale and offering indispensable new knowledge towards the end of the 19th century. Previously, the individual entrepreneur and their employees had enough skill between them, especially in connection with steam and textile production, to design and build machines and factories for themselves. But, with the rise of the chemical and electrical industries especially, the sheer scale and difficulty of the underlying technologies meant that no amount of individual knowledge was enough to design and build the profoundly new means of production on which these industries were based. So entrepreneurs were obliged to look elsewhere for the necessary knowledge and support. Such expertise was provided by a new cadre of middle-class technologists, trained in universities and providing independent scientific and engineering expertise. These experts, supported by increasingly complex and extensive teams, not only created industrial systems of unparalleled power and sophistication and on an unprecedented scale, but also conducted innovative research and development within corporations themselves. But even this explains only a small fraction of the growth of the middle class. One of the key trends of 20th century corporate structure was the recruitment of specialists to manage and perform the specifically capitalist functions once performed by entrepreneurs themselves. These include corporate strategy, investment management, organizational design, recruitment, training and human relations, product design, research and development, systems architecture, design and development, business operations, all aspects of day-to-day management and supervision, sales, marketing and public relations, and so on. In short, the middle class designs, builds and operates whatever it is businesses need to do business. And as a result of this development, and with only one critical exception, everything the individual entrepreneur used to do has been transferred to the middle classes. These functions are performed by middle-class workers who cannot currently be described as normal everyday people who earn an average wage. These are not working-class functions, aspects of direct production, but they are all essential to any contemporary organization. They demand specialized skills and training, frequently beginning with years at institutions of higher education. Middle-class workers in these areas are also typically paid at rates of which working-class people can scarcely dream. Indeed, even the language of working-class and middle-class payment is telling. Middle-class workers are not merely paid, but remunerated, a telltale name for consciously nurtured difference, designed to create the impression of a more highly valued, even pampered group of superior employees.